The underground city became humanity's last refuge after a catastrophe wiped out the surface. On the day the world ended, humanity's fate was sealed in a tiny metal box. In a secret refuge, architects, scientists, and engineers gathered to make a decision. Their only hope lay in building an underground city. They knew life on Earth's surface was no longer possible, but they believed that in 200 years, humans might be able to return. Trusting only in faith and hope, the scientists locked the box, a secure safe with a timer set to open after the designated time. The box was entrusted to the city's first mayor and passed down to each successive leader. But one fateful accident broke the chain. The box was lost, and with it, the instructions for humanity's return to the surface, and their hope of escape from the underground city. Ember, the underground city, is illuminated only by lamps powered by an aging electrical generator. For generations, people have been forced to live below ground, where leaving the city is considered not only illegal but also a death sentence. They've forgotten what dawn looks like and have no memory of the sun. Most don't even ask those questions anymore. Their only concern is survival in a city slowly dying. 200 years have long since passed. Food supplies are dwindling, and the generator, far past its lifespan, is breaking down more frequently. Dune Harrow, the son of an electrician and inventor, dreams of following in his father's footsteps. Today is assignment day, a pivotal event where the city's youth are given their jobs, not by choice but through a random drawing. It's a system that often crushes dreams, leaving many stuck in roles they never wanted. As Dune prepares for the ceremony, the power fails, plunging the city into darkness. Counting the seconds with his father, he realizes the outages are growing longer, a sign the city's heart is on the verge of failing for good. Dune vows to do whatever it takes to get assigned as an electrician so he can try to save Ember by fixing the generator. The ceremony begins. Mayor Cole addresses the gathered crowd, quoting the words of the city's founders and leading everyone in a prayer before announcing each assignment. Lena Mayfleet, a young girl living with her forgetful grandmother and her little sister Poppy, is also part of the ceremony. For her, it's an exciting day, a chance at something new. But she's late. Rushing to the event, she arrives just in time to join the others on stage and recite the prayer. During the ceremony, nearly everyone gets the job they hoped for, except for Dune and Lena. Lena draws a slip assigning her as a plumber's assistant, while Dune is stuck with the role of messenger, tasked with delivering short messages around the city. Lena envies Dune, as being a messenger is her dream job. Thankfully, after the ceremony, Dune suggests they swap assignments since there's no strict oversight, and it isn't against the law. Dune, determined to become an electrician, is willing to take any other role, just not messenger. Lena eagerly agrees. She loves running and meeting new people. When Lena gets home, she shares the news with her grandmother, but the old woman, lost in her memories, barely responds. The only one genuinely happy for Lena is her little sister, Poppy, who's always easy to find thanks to her habit of carrying around a ball of yarn. That evening, Lena soothes Poppy to sleep with recordings of their parents' voices from an old answering machine. Afterward, she sketches a blue sky, holding on to the hope of one day seeing it herself. Meanwhile, Dune's father gives him a practical tool as a gift, urging him to use it wisely. During a walk after their conversation, Dune discovers a massive mutant insect with a damaged wing and helps it recover. The next morning, Lena and Dune set off for their new jobs, feeling completely different about the day. Lena is thrilled to receive the red cape that marks her as a messenger and dives into her work with enthusiasm. Dune, however, is disappointed to be a plumber's assistant, working under the grumpy and elderly Sewell. Instead of fixing the city's failing generator, Dune is stuck dealing with old, rusted pipes that are beyond repair. With no resources to replace them, the plumbers resort to patching leaks as best they can. Back in the break room, Dune signs his helmet, just in case he meets the same fate as its previous owner, who lost his life in the tunnels. Lena's first delivery takes her to Clary, a greenhouse worker and a close friend. While they're chatting, a scream pierces the air. They turn to see a man emerging from beyond the city's edge, holding a giant horn from an insect. He claims that outside Ember lies only endless darkness, impossible to escape. Guards quickly arrest the man for breaking the law by leaving the city, endangering everyone within. As the guards haul him away, Lena snatches the insect horn. Dune, meanwhile, is determined to find a way to the generator. The main door is locked, but when Sewell falls asleep, Dune steals a map and begins exploring the city's underground tunnels. He soon discovers a strange passage that has been erased from the map. Using a flashlight, he investigates and finds a sealed room labeled 351. On his way back, Dune notices a hatch in the ceiling and climbs up the pipes to reach it. He finds himself in a nearly empty storeroom, where food supplies are critically low. Before he can leave, the city's surly storekeeper, Looper, catches him and mistakes him for a thief. Looper angrily shoves Dune out onto the street. Moments later, the electricity cuts out again, plunging the city into total darkness. The people, gripped with fear, freeze in place, waiting for the power to return. In the chaos, Dune and Lena accidentally bump into each other and find comfort in each other's presence. Lena mentions the large insect horn she found near the city's outskirts, but Dune brushes it off. He has more pressing concerns. The generator has been making strange noises, and he's determined to check on the city's only source of energy. Dune eventually makes his way to the generator, only to discover it has caught fire, damaging part of the mechanism. Meanwhile, an elderly woman passing by asks Lena to inform everyone that the blackout lasted an alarming 7 minutes. When Lena returns home, she finds Poppy in the closet, playing with a small metal box. To her horror, Poppy is chewing on some of the paper stored inside. Lena quickly snatches the box away. At the same time, their grandmother tries to say something important about the box but struggles to recall the details due to her failing memory. Later, Lena receives a message from Looper, the storekeeper, meant for the mayor. Delivering it to the mayor's office, she notices a portrait of her great-grandfather, the 7th mayor of Ember, holding a box identical to the one Poppy had found. When Lena meets the mayor's assistant, she hands over the message. "Your goods are ready." That evening, Lena examines the metal box and the torn piece of paper from inside. Piecing together the fragments, she realizes it's some kind of instruction left by the city's founders. As she continues exploring the box, she discovers a plastic card covered in strange symbols, its purpose a mystery. Hoping for answers, Lena consults her friend Liz, but the storekeeper is just as puzzled. Their conversation is abruptly interrupted by another blackout, this one accompanied by a tremor. Returning home, Lena learns that her grandmother's condition has worsened. The old woman keeps rambling about the box. Lena tries to reassure her, showing that the box has been found, but she's deeply unnerved by the 3 zeros etched on it, a possible countdown that's already reached its end. Lena asks the doctor for medicine, but the city is out of supplies, no pills, no injections. Resources are dwindling, and it feels like humanity is on the brink of extinction underground. Before leaving, the doctor examines Poppy and discovers scraps of paper in her mouth that she nearly choked on. Lena recognizes them as the missing parts of the founder's message and continues piecing it together. The next morning, tragedy strikes as Lena and Poppy's grandmother passes away. The sisters are taken in by Mrs. Murdo. That night, Lena finishes reconstructing the message and shares it with Dune. Excited by their findings, Dune suggests they confirm their theories by sneaking into the main hall where official events are held. Inside the hall, they uncover a book left by the city's founders. Comparing the text in the book to the note they've assembled, they confirm the script matches perfectly. The circular format of the message reveals it's an instruction for leaving the city. Dune theorizes that the mysterious tunnel in room 351 might lead to the exit. The pair heads to the underground location to try breaking into the locked room. As they search, they hear voices and quickly hide in a side tunnel. From the shadows, they spot Looper and an accomplice carrying supplies. Before they can act, a giant star-nosed mole unexpectedly attacks the two men. Panicked, Looper and his partner flee, dropping a box of food in the process. The couple realizes they can't break down the door and decide to head back, but they encounter an angry, hungry mole rat. Mistaking the teens for moving food, the mole begins hunting Duna and Lena. They try to escape but find themselves in a dead end. Duna suggests Lena open a hatch and hide in the storage room. He doesn't manage to follow her up, so he runs through a nearby tunnel to escape the monster. The mole rat decides to target Lena and attacks her. Lena hides but accidentally loses a metal box. When she tries to find it, she brushes against the monster and realizes it's right next to her. The mole attacks Lena, but at the last moment, Duna appears, protecting her and drawing the creature's attention. The rat lunges at him but gets stuck between the shelves, allowing the teens to flee. The couple realizes how dire the situation is. The generator could burn out any minute, and the food storage is empty. This could doom the underground city and everyone in it. At one point, Lena notices her last name on Duna's helmet and wonders how it ended up there. Duna explains it belonged to a man who drowned in one of the tunnels. Lena realizes it was her father and goes to Clary to ask what happened to him. Clary takes her to a secret hideout where they can talk in private, away from prying ears. Here, Clary admits that Lena's father believed in the coming apocalypse and was trying to find a way out of the city. He thought the underground river might lead to an exit, but he drowned trying to escape through a flooded tunnel. Clary suggests they take the mysterious box to the mayor, as he knows more than anyone and will likely use it for its intended purpose. Lena listens, but soon realizes that the mayor is more concerned with his own survival than with saving the city's people. Instead of addressing the city's problems and taking decisive action, the mayor holds a meeting proposing the creation of a special committee to study power outages. The committee is pointless, and the mayor's actions are all a facade hiding his weakness and helplessness. Lena knows there's no point in talking to him. Her only chance is Duna. Later, Lena spots her friend and calls out to her, but the girl with the bags avoids talking. Liz tries to run but trips, dropping a bag of food. She explains that the food came from her boyfriend, who found food-filled warehouses on the city's outskirts. Lena suspects something's off, especially when she notices canned pineapples, food no one has touched in over 50 years. It turns out Liz's boyfriend is Lupier, the warehouseman Lena had seen in the tunnel. She realizes Lupier is a thief and rushes to tell Duna, repeating the message the warehouseman passed on to the mayor. The couple suspects that room 351 hides something important and returns to the secret tunnel. Using a tool her father gave her, Duna breaks into the door and discovers a secret hideout filled with food. Inside, they find the mayor, who has gorged himself and is now sleeping in a chair. Duna and Lena understand that the mayor is not trying to save the locals. He's been stealing from everyone and causing hunger to ensure he lives a long life with plenty of food. Returning home, Lena asks Dune to pedal in order to activate the answering machine. Poppy, accustomed to falling asleep to the voices of her late parents, relies on this as her only way to hear them again. As Dune helps Lena, he hears his father's voice on one of the recordings. Realizing that their fathers had been in contact and were even trying to escape the city together, Dune becomes determined to learn more. He tries to speak to his father, hoping for more details. Loris, who has lost all hope of rescue, believes there is no way out. However, Dune insists otherwise, pointing to the clear evacuation instructions that both he and Lena have discovered, which lead to the surface of the Earth. The next morning, Lena heads to the city's headquarters to meet with the mayor's assistant. She tells Barton that the mayor is a thief and a traitor, exploiting the people of Ember to line his own pockets. Barton promises to help her and leads her to a supposedly safer location. But as the situation unfolds, Lena realizes she's being deceived and tries to resist, though it's too late. Barton brings her to the mayor's office for a private conversation. During their exchange, the mayor denies all accusations and, curiously, wipes his face with part of a plastic card, just like the one Lena found in the metal box. He orders that the box be taken from her, but at that moment, the electricity goes out. Seizing the opportunity, Lena escapes and manages to steal a second plastic card from the mayor. Barton and the police are ordered to track down Dune and Lena, as they are considered a threat to the mayor. They must be captured and brought to the mayor with the metal box and stolen card. The police carry out extensive searches, starting with a break-in at Loris's house. Loris realizes he must do everything to mislead the police. Pretending to be partially deaf, he orders Dune to run while he lures the officers into a trap. In a desperate bid to buy time, Loris attacks the police officers, hoping that his son can find a way out of the city. Information posters soon appear around Ember, accusing Dune and Lena of spreading false rumors. Lena hides in a secret shelter in the greenhouse. Barton learns from Mrs. Murdo that Lena and Dune often meet in the greenhouse and heads there. A thorough search yields no results as Lena is hidden in the shelter and Dune is concealed in the ceiling of a building. Just as Barton threatens Clary, the teenagers unite and hide together in the shelter. Here, they discover a vehicle created by Dune's father. Determined to continue his father's work, the teenagers embark on a journey through a narrow tunnel that leads them to another part of the city. Before seeking an exit, the pair rises to the surface to collect Poppy. The citizens have gathered in the square for a holiday celebration, giving Lena and Dune the opportunity to blend in with the crowd. Using special sounds, Lena draws Poppy's attention and takes her along. By combining the two plastic cards, the teenagers realize they form a key that leads to the electrical generator. Eager to reach it, they rush to Dune's workplace, where it's easiest to access the power source. However, the door is locked, and they need a different key. Old Sul is unable to help as he's not an electrician and can't open the steel door. Lena soon realizes that the city's creators have designed a puzzle, one that doesn't require finding keys. She spots a round area on the floor that resembles a map. This clue reveals that something hidden behind a coat rack corresponds to the map. Dune attempts to find a secret door, but instead discovers that the coat racks are small boats designed for leaving the city. Following the first step of the instructions, the pair launches the vehicle into the water. However, the water level is too low, causing the boat to break apart. Returning to the instructions, the pair searches for the door to the command and control center. This time, they use the key made from the two plastic cards and ascend to the top of the generator, where its control unit is located. Following the creator's instructions, the teenagers manage to activate the first water wheel and completely stop the second. This should raise the water level in the reservoir, but the old parts begin to fail. It seems like the escape plan is in jeopardy, but Old Sul comes to the rescue. He repairs the water wheel and manually adjusts the water flow, allowing the teenagers to escape. Meanwhile, panic spreads through the city. The activation of the evacuation program causes many lights to burn out, and the city begins to flood. The mayor decides not to care about the people and instead escapes. At the last moment, he betrays his ally, Looper, and locks himself in his shelter, which is stocked with food. There, the mayor hears strange sounds and turns on the lights, only to realize that a giant, hungry mole has made its way inside. The mole immediately attacks the new victim. Thanks to the actions of the plumber, Dune, Lena, and Poppy swim through an underground river, navigating narrow tunnels. After a series of terrifying descents and waterfalls, they reach the shore, where everything needed for the people's return to the surface has been prepared. There, they find candles and a ladder leading up to a laboratory, where, over 200 years ago, the decision was made to save humanity. The place is filled with wise quotes and advice, so people would understand the price at which the scientists had managed to protect them from the apocalypse. Once they emerge, Lena is disappointed to find that it's still dark outside, and she assumes the world is still engulfed in darkness. However, a few hours later, she, her sister, and Dune witness the first sunrise of their lives. Shortly after, they notice a hole in the ground with Ember visible at the bottom. Unable to call out to the city's inhabitants, they throw a stone into the hole with a message, which Loris receives. Now he knows how to help the others reach the surface of the earth. How do people react to the inevitability of change? The characters face the necessity of leaving Ember, despite their fear of the unknown. Why does change provoke resistance, even when it is clearly necessary? How can one overcome fear and doubt in such situations? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, give a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next videos.